Super Dave here with another Super Dave review. Super Dave here with another exciting Masters of the Universe new Eternia action figure from the Masterverse line, and this time it is King Randor. Wow, just take a look at this box. I promise you, you cannot truly appreciate it till you actually have it in hand, because this thing feels so premium. The way it looks, the artwork, everything about it. Maybe I'm just, geeking out a little bit here, but man, is it awesome or what? I mean, you have King Randor in his traditional look that we're used to. Even a King Randor with the option of having him bald. I got some ideas about that. And then just look at this. This is just so cool. Some creatures here. He's fighting in his battle armor looking areas here with his helmet. A little bit more of a, I would say, armored helmet like he's shown here in the package. And then there's Queen Marlena before she was queen, before they got married, I'm assuming here, maybe not. But we do know that she crashed from Earth, the planet Earth, on the Eternia after going through some kind of warp and losing control of two of her engines. That was, she was a pilot and for Earth and I think NASA, or anyway, she was a part of of the lore for sure. And then just take a look at this. You even see Zor flying in the background there, showing off his weapons, a scepter, a sword, all the different ways you can display his head. It's just wild. And there is a bio. If you'd like to pause and read that now, you certainly can. And then, of course, there's the other selling points. Can't wait to get these other two. They've been elusive. They sell out every time on Walmart. Amazon holds on to them. Paul Mart I haven't seen them on there yet, so I don't know. I've just been missing it. But I finally got a hold of King Randor, and I'm hoping to grab the other two, as well as that vintage collection Skeletor. That's also been eluding me, even though I did special order one, pre-order one on Walmart. One of those crazy things where my card was going to expire. They don't let you change the payment method. Anyway, long story, but that's kind of bad when it comes to Walmart. So when I changed, I lost the order and they were sold out. They were sold out unless you want to pay $60 for him from someone else. But man, does this box just really, I have several on order. I've pre-ordered him at Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth, Amazon. So I'll tell you why in just a few minutes. Once we get him open, we're going to come over here inside of the Palace of Eternia and check him out. And here we are inside of the Palace of Eternia, getting ready to take a look at King Randor. First, let's look at this beautiful throne room here. And first, we're going to take a look at King Randor's accessories. King Randor only comes with one set of hands here. He comes with a right hand that is vertically hinged and a left hand that is horizontally hinged. And he comes with a nice sword with a blue gem in the hilt, as well as a really nice metallic finish to both the blade and the crossbar there, the hilt. As well as a scepter, a nice scepter with a crown on top, which is cool, featuring a gem which is really just painted blue in the middle there. And then he comes with a second hair / crown piece, which we're not getting really an extra head, but because of these accessories, we'll actually have 3 ways of displaying him. And I'll talk about that a little bit when we take a closer look. And then, of course, he comes with removable armor. This helmet is removable. This is removable. All of this chest armor, even the cape, is removable. Even the gauntlets on his arms are removable, and the shin guards, boot guards here are removable. So those would count as accessories. Give you a spin here just to see how this is looking. That cape. It's not like a high quality cape. It's kind of like that see-through material like we've been getting from Masterverse for the most part. But it does look nice because of the color, the dark color of blue. It does help it out, its overall look. So let's now take a closer look at our Randor and see the different ways we can display him. All right, let's bring our King Randor on in here a little bit closer. I want us to take a closer look at King Randor, basically because there are several ways you could display him. And so let's first of all reveal that this helmet, this nice crowned battle type helmet, is removable, and that leaves us with a bald King Randor. Isn't that interesting? And then you can also take this other crown with the hair that's already in place and put it on, and there we have more of a familiar look to King Randor. This would be the preferred look that I would have. Now mine has you know, like in the box art we had King Randor with a very even tone on that beard. Looks really good, doesn't it? But here you have a pretty even tone until you get to around the mustache, and it's almost like they painted some kind of glossy paint over the other paint, and it's noticeable mostly with the mustache. So there may be a way to kind of fix that, but it just looks kind of strange to me. So this is the reason I say there's 3 head sculpts. You have 1, you have 2, and you have 3 ways of displaying him. Now, I told you that I ordered another King Randor, actually 2 more, and that's because I want to be able to display him either way, but also I'm thinking there's a way to Dremel this hair off of this crown and have just a crown that maybe I can work or mod so that I can put it on this bald head, add some gray, and make this King Miro, because we've never gotten a King Miro, and this would be a good King Miro with a little modification. So we need a King Miro, so that if you're interested in telling the whole story or having all the characters, now you could actually modify this and make yourself a King Miro very simply. So that's the reason I'm thinking I could probably Dremel this hair out of this crown and put that crown right on that bald head without any hair. Put some gray in the beard, and voila, King Randor can become, I believe, King Miro. King Miro, if you're wondering, is King Randor and Keldor. Keldor is the one that ultimately became Skeletor. King Miro was Keldor and Randor's daddy. And King Miro had a fling with a Gar woman on an island that was controlled by Gar people, and thus they had the son Keldor. Keldor, of course, became Hordak's apprentice somehow, and then ultimately became Skeletor. And there's several different versions of how he became Skeletor. The Netflix version telling us a totally different one. But anyway, it's still an awesome lore and cool story. And this guy's awesome. Just look at that. And all of this is one piece. This is joined to this, and then that is joined to this with a hinge, with a peg. Kind of like we saw with Thunder Punch He-Man, I believe. But it looks really cool. You have the cross type symbol like you have on He-Man's chest armor in the original. Have a lot of, you know, regal looking symbolism here. Just looks cool. Looks really nice. All in here. Like I was telling you, the cape is even removable. This armor is removable. You can see here, you can pop that off here. And go ahead and look at the back while we're back here. See, you even got the cross back here. Neat design. I mean, they did not bear any paint to give this a nice look. Even the jewels in the belt and the design in the belt, there's texture here. It's soft loincloth. And you have two-tone. I don't know if you can tell it in the camera, but there's a flat burgundy, and then there's more of a glossy, brighter red over top of, in the front rather, of this chest armor, and then a flat burgundy kind of base in the background, which is really nice. And you see the cool design of this really awesome King Randor. I mean, this guy just looks beautiful. This is better than I expected, and this is a new Eternia. Even though, I mean, you know, the look isn't that different, and with the options, new Eternia stuff, I mean, you pretty much could also say this is your Revolution King Randor that died in this show. But man, this guy is looking really good. All right, so we took a closer look at his head sculpt features, or the ability to display him with different types heads. But now let's look at his sword and his scepter, which you see this on the box, but I just wanted to go over it. This is a really nice sword. It has a really nice look to it, and it has a really nice metallic type blade with some sparkly like glitter effect in there. But if you notice on the end of this nice scepter, and it's a nice color of gold, you can plug that into there, and then you have like a staff type weapon or a spear type weapon. So that's really cool. So you have, again, three options. You have a sword as a weapon, you have a scepter, which could be a weapon, or you can join them together and have more of a staff spear type weapon. So that is really cool. And, you know, I know it's kind of a bummer that he didn't come with more hands, but as many hands as we have with Fisto and He-Man and, you know, different ones with flesh tone, you could probably swap those out. Just going to mention that as well. But now that we've taken a closer look at our King Randor, let's look at his articulation. All right, bringing our King Randor in a little bit closer, we're going to be able to see that he's going to look up just a little bit. Let me see, moving that out of the way. Yeah, he'll look up a little bit better if you take the helmet off or even bump it up a little bit. He's still, yeah, that's a pretty good amount. That's pretty good. I actually put a little cut down in there. You can see it so that he can look up. Hey, that's nice. That looks good. Looking good on that. And like I say, you could still put the helmet on there after you get it in place. But, you know, with it all the way down, it's going to hinder. But if you lift his head up first, he'll get that. And let's just see while we're here about the other part. That's, yeah, I mean, it'll do it too. Just have to maybe get it in place first and then put the crown and hair on there. He's going to be able to look down, not as much because his beard just hits all his chest armor, but he, you know, in comparison to his upward gaze, yeah, I mean, he's looking down a little bit and then still straight ahead. Let's see, I'm going to take that off here. Yeah, you're going to be able to get a little bit of head pivot, but again, you're going to have to remove the crown to get it. Let's see about with this one. Not that much when you have the hair on, so just, you know, and he'll be able to look side to side, of course. Now this side's going to be able to go full 360, obviously, but I'm not sure about this side. I was looking here. It doesn't look like anything would hinder. Let's see. Yeah, it will get a full 360. Not going to quite be able to get a full T-pose, however, but definitely gets there, you know, as far as your right side, but not so much with your left side. You still got bicep swivel, that's not hindered. You've got double jointed elbows, but that's going to be hindered a little bit because of all this stuff on him. It's like a brace almost, like a like a brace after surgery kind of thing. But on this side, he gets, let's see, yeah, you could still go a little bit further with that and get better than 90 degrees. So he could pull his sword out from back here, even though there's nowhere to put it. He could definitely have that illusion there. Been nice if they had to put some kind of, even if it had been removable, some kind of little way of storing his sword on his side or his belt. Would have been cool. But just to show you here, you have vertical hinges on this side, so that is going to allow for a nice sword posing. And then on this side, you have horizontal hinges, and of course both swivel, and these gauntlets are removable, and this armor on here is also removable. You might have to heat it up a little bit or even pop this loose and kind of slide it off. You'd have to obviously remove the gauntlet and the hand to do that, but all of this is removable. It would slide off this way just like that. And I've already mentioned that this part is removable. You just pop this off and pop this off, and you'd be able to lift that off. And even the cape, if you didn't want the cape but you wanted to keep the armor, you can pop that off too. You just have to pop his head off and remove both sides, so you can do that. This is not the easiest thing in the world to get. Well, it popped back in that time, but I had to heat it up one time to get that back in there. But it looks like it's holding better now. Obviously, because of the fact that he's got all this chest armor, he's not going to be able to crunch forward very much. It's going to stop at the belt because they collide. Using his legs a little bit, he's going to be able to bend back a little bit because it does move under here. I mean, it's present. He's got the diaphragm under there. Like I say, if you move this chest armor, you'd see it and it would be fine. You'd be able to get plenty of range. But even with that, using the legs a little bit and that too, he can still get a little bit, to be able to, look up even further and to look down slightly as well. So definitely good there. And of course, well, you can even see there that it's turning at the diaphragm, and he also gets swivel at the waist. So you get both here. You get that diaphragm swivel and swivel at the waist, like we said. I mean, it's present there. But anyway, there you have that. Of course, he'll be able to get full splits. He has drop down method. You can see it pop down there, see, and pop in. He also has thigh rotation. Just line up that muscle right there. He has double jointed knees, so you get really good motion there. He'll basically kick all the way to his back. Thigh rotation, boot cut. He's going to be able to get full tiptoes. Well, it actually hits a little bit on this thing. If you remove these, you can see these are removable also. They pop off right there. And it doesn't look like you're going to be able to go up very much if this is on there. Not sure if you'd be able to with it not on there. I'm not sure. But it's a forward-facing pin. But he does get excellent rockers. Get the rocker joint there. And then you have the peg hole in the bottom, which is always nice to have for these characters, especially as heavy as they are. I mean, this is a hefty character. He is a very nicely made, feels premium. I mean, the only complaint I have, I don't really have much complaint here. The only complaint I have is this beard and the face just a little bit. I don't know, but that does look better to me. I like the way that looks better. I do. I like the way that looks. That looks good. And then, like I said, we could always, I think we could customize this, maybe add a little side hair here, gray to the beard, and make him a King Miro, like I said earlier. But there's your options. Of course, you've got, that sword, and you've got the scepter. So, very cool. All right, now let's do some comparisons. And here we are taking a look at some comparisons between our new Eternia Masterverse Randor, King Randor, alongside of his classics counterpart, except this is the one that's more like in your I guess, regal dress type outfit. But you can see the similarities, especially with the hair and the crown. But look, our Masterverse New Eternia crown is a lot more detailed and a lot more, I guess, realistic. Whereas now, giving, you know, a nod to this one has the simplicity of like your Filmation. This is basically what he looked like in the Filmation cartoon, and I believe we even saw that goblet in the Filmation cartoon a few times. I've noticed going back and looking at it. But there he is also alongside of Queen Marlena, or Marlena, I think is how you say it. I don't know, I always get that wrong. It's a unique way they say it in the cartoon, but Queen Marlena, I believe it is. And she's looking good. I hope and pray that, wouldn't it be epic if we got one like we see on the box here? That would just be so cool, in that white uniform with like the jetpack and that logo, and man, that's hot. And that laser pistol, that would just be so epic to get one of those, I think.
My friends, it gives me great pleasure to introduce you to the best pilot that a planet called Earth ever produced. Marlena, my queen.
Because we haven't had but one Marlena, Queen Marlena, and that's this one. And it would be even cool if they came, maybe it'll be a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive or something similar to that, or even a Mattel creation, because what would be neat is to have, kind of like they did with the classics, this actually comes with this dress and the space outfit. So that would be cool to have that same kind of gimmick with Masterverse, but we'll see. New Eternia. But yeah, this is looking awesome. And of course you can see King Randor alongside. Let me go ahead and put Queen Marlena back just a little bit. She'll stand up, and I'll put, because you know, Prince Adam was a pretty tall dude too. But yeah, he's taller than Prince Adam, so that works good in the Masterverse line here, the scale, because he's pretty tall. Matter of fact, let's do a measurement right quick. So if you measure this in, if you look straight dead on, it's coming up at right at the top of that crown, right at 7.5 inches. If you measure it into the top of the crown. So yeah, the crown definitely gives him a taller look, a broader look, that outfit, that uniform, that I would say armor. So yeah, 7.5 inches for this dude. All right, so here we come on inside here again to take a look at our King Randor beside the actual classics King Randor. Now this is his classics form, I would say most inspired by this one. That New Eternia, you know, took a lot of pointers from this one, because you have very similar characteristics, especially with the armor look and the blue cape, even the big nodules that are holding on the cape. Obviously, New Eternia adds its flair as usual with this big giant type, you know, shoulder armor, and then of course coming with that other helmet to give him more of a battle armor look. But yeah, definitely cool. Now this one has a plastic cape which is very rigid, which basically makes it impossible for him to sit on a throne. So that's definitely going to be an advantage here. I believe that we'll be able to get King Randor to sit on the throne over there, or the ones I'm using right now for my thrones. I'd love to get some 3D printed ones that look like the Filmation thrones for Queen Marlena and King Randor, but I haven't been able to get that yet. But they work for now. But that's one advantage of this guy with that cloth cape, is that he is going to be able to sit on the throne, or you could even remove the cape so he can sit on the throne, whereas a lot more difficult here. But the face sculpt, I mean, classics always, I think most of the times, 9 times out of 10, does a great job with their face sculpt. You can see there's more of a gold to this crown, whereas it was more of a yellow to that Filmation Classics Randor. But our New Eternia Randor kind of scratches all the itches, checks all the check marks on the box for both, I would say, Revolution Netflix series and your filmation to a certain degree with this hair type sculpt, and even with the battle armor look to look like the classics here. You've got just about a little bit of it all wrapped up in this dude, I think. In other words, if we never got another King Randor in the Masterverse, and always open to more figures, don't get me wrong, but if we never got another one, I'd be satisfied with this one, with the different things that you'd be able to do with him. But anyway, there you can see how they measure up and how they look. He's got those orange tights, which is true to what we are used to with this King Randor, and he's looking cool. And if you want King Randor to have King Miro on the scene, just remove that, and I think we could, you know, when I get another one of my Randors that I've pre-ordered in, I'm definitely going to do some mods on this guy and make me a King Miro. All right, so there we have that. You can see how he looks up here beside our Club Grayskull by Super 7 Prince Adam, and our Origins Cringer over here, just dynamic looking. But you see how they look beside Masterverse figures, beside Classics figures. But let's go ahead and look at him beside a He-Man figure as well. And here we are with the whole family. We have She-Ra with a Hordak MX head sculpt. We have Queen Marlena from Classics. We have our new Eternia King Randor. And we have my favorite He-Man combination. And I don't know what yours is, because there's so many different ways of showing He-Man here. But here's my favorite, using the Revolution body of the new Eternia Masterverse. Actually, I think it's actually Revolution body for He-Man, and using the Classics head sculpt, vintage Classics head sculpt. But looking awesome here. But in case you like other He-Man figures, let's throw in some other ones. Here he is beside the 40th anniversary He-Man, in case he's your pick. He's an awesome looking He-Man as well. The whole family. And here is the Revolution He-Man, Battle Armor He-Man. And that is the head sculpt that Battle Armor He-Man Revolution came with. But I did take off his hairpiece. I forgot about that. And put on one of the Classics hairpieces that I was able to peel off an old Classics head. Which I thought did make him look a little better. I've shown that one before, but there he is beside our King Randor. And then here's our Viking, new Eternia Viking He-Man. And a lot of people like this head sculpt. I do too. I think it's probably one of the best head sculpts that Mattel has done with the Masterverse. It just doesn't look a lot like He-Man. Looks like somebody else. But yeah, there's our there's just a few Masterverse He-Man thrown in there to show you how he looks beside his dad, King Randor. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us for this Super Dave review. Please come back and check us out again soon. We've got Pamthor coming up really soon here. Pamthor with Skeletor. We're going to look at the new Eternia Mattel Creations Pamthor. He's on his way. And can't wait to get him in hand. I've been seeing some awesome pictures on Instagram. Everybody's pictures just look epic. He looks better than I expected. Definitely an upgrade, I think, from our Revelation Battle Cat. I've heard others say it too, but I wish somebody would. I wish they would do a Mattel Creation Battle Cat and just, you know, make some improvements. But anyway, there you have it. Thank you for joining us. Be blessed. Subscribe if you haven't done so. Like this video. It really helps out the channel. And comment if you have something to share. We'll see you soon. Here's some photos in the photo gallery.